Join us, friends, to know heartbreaking tragedy of Chris Kamikaze. At the end of video, I am going to reveal some secret about Chris Kamikaze. So watch this video till the end. Let's begin. Chris Dave, better known as Kamikaze, must have had a significant impact on the streetcar racing world. The amount of effort the racer puts into his sport demonstrates his strong character. The current champion streetcar racer Justin Shearer, nicknamed Big Chief, is good friends with him. Even before he gained notoriety from the Discovery Channel series Street Outlaws, Kamikaze was a streetcar racer. He is well known for driving in an aggressive manner. Chris Day was a well-known character in the world of street racing, best remembered for his participation in the reality TV series Street Outlaws. Along with Boosted G, Chief, and Kamikaze, he raced for the Street Outlaws squad Kamikaze. Chris Kamikaze could have made a brief appearance in the background of a few episodes during Season 3. Big Chief called in fellow racer and boyhood buddy Kamikaze for assistance in keeping up with the crew now that he was back on the list. Kamikaze, Chief, and Flip were all avid motorcycle riders in their youth. Chief considered boat and motor racer Kamikaze's father as an additional father. Chief and Kamikaze got into racing via their father. Not only was Kamikaze done with racing, but he was also done with people's egos when Chief first removed his vehicle off the list. Now that Flip was back on the scene, Chief decided it was time to give Kamikaze the keys to the El Camino, also known as the Elko, which had been languishing in the barn for the last year. Because the El Camino is built from rubbish and used components, the driver has to be insane. Chris is the ideal candidate to fill it. He goes by Kamikaze. Excitement and glory abound as Kamikaze prepares to infuriate the other 405 drivers and send the El Camino back up the list. Flip will remember everything about every race. Kamikaze grew up in Oklahoma City. Chris spent over 30 years as a wheeler driver. He has been riding motorbikes since he was 3 years old, and he has never stopped. Kamikaze was working 2 jobs, winning races twice a week against boys almost twice his age, and accumulating money for his motorbike, while other youngsters were still having a good time on the playgrounds. Chris had a great drive to succeed and enjoyed speed. He worked on vehicles and motorbikes all through his boyhood, always trying to make them faster. Kamikaze was raised by a successful drag boat racer whose father taught him the value of hard labor and the proverb, "You rake it, you fix it." Because of his fearlessness, he was known as Kamikaze Chris, and he made great use of it. Even though he couldn't always afford the priciest gear, he was shrewd enough to know how far he could push his equipment and how to push his vehicles to places other drivers were too scared to go. Time lapses or points aside, Kamikaze Chris thought that the real goal of racing was to always go above and beyond to outperform the opponent in front of you. Kamikaze Chris is still motivated by this idea today. Gained notoriety after their debut on the Discovery Channel's Street Outlaws series, Kamikaze Chris went on to happily own what may be the most renowned El Caminos in the whole nation. After an unexpected death of one of his boyhood pals, he ended up owning the Elko, a piecemeal Chevy El Camino. In the previous 3 years, Kamikaze with only his hands and his home workshop, Chris has converted the 1981 large block nitrous-powered Elko into a genuine racing vehicle by adding wheelie bars, parachutes, massive tires, and electronic control systems. One of the reasons Kamikaze is a difficult partner is the Elko's G-body shuffle notoriety. Chris thinks it's rather great. The Kamikaze Chris has continued to race, which has gradually increased his income. When he joined the show during its 3rd season, he began receiving compensation. He has benefited greatly from the mentorship of his friend Big Chief, who has accelerated his athletic career advancement. The racer can suddenly turn to his longtime hobby as a source of income. In the 3rd season of the show, he began racing. Chris had a childhood passion in racing. Ever since his childhood, he had owned a fashionable bicycle. Then, by his boyhood buddy Big Chief, he was introduced to motor racing. Kamikaze had dubbed Justin Shearer Big Chief. After a while, the well-known individual gave from riding his fancy bike and focused on street automobile racing. Big Chief received it from their buddy Tyler, who drives a racing car, and Kamikaze received it from Big Chief. They had so many beautiful recollections of their buddy Tyler that they were saddened by his passing. Every time before a race, Kamikaze honors their buddy who passed away. Tyler had brought back fond memories for the other cast members ever since he and Big Chief made their appearance in the first episode of Street Outlaw. The Kamikaze from Street Outlaws. Chris is a powerful and quick racing car driver. The driver calls it Elko. He bought this automobile from his buddy Tyler Pretty, who passed away. With this automobile, he can compete without worrying about failing. He owes a debt of gratitude to Big Chief and their departed companion for making his entry into street car racing possible. The driver of the crazy G-body known simply as the Chris Day, the owner of a 1981 Chevrolet El Camino featuring around 550 cubic inches of big block Chevy engine. Tyler Flip Pretty, a buddy from Chris's youth, was driving the automobile before Chris got his hands on it. It was called the Slut because it was constructed completely out of spare components from friends who had modified their own automobiles. Flip garnered a lot of attention in the Slut because to its amazing zoomy headers that shot nitrous fireballs out of the car's fenders. Flip appeared in the first season of Street Outlaws. There are also rumors that silicone, duct tape, JB Wells, and Bondo were used extensively to restore the automobile. The tales certainly made matters worse when Flip arrived to get his money. The Slut is quick, boisterous, annoying, and absurd. She very much matches each of these descriptions of herself. Chris was excited to be a part of the car's incredible history when his close buddy Justin Big Chief Shearer gave it to him after Flip's tragic death. After being encased with a tarp for more than a year, Chris pressed the start button and it immediately fired up. It was inevitable. Before the vehicle could complete a full pass, Chris discovered on his first drive that one of the rear brakes had stopped and caught fire. Chris took the vehicle to Louisiana for a big call out of the 405 top 10 list by Louisiana's best street racers after he had been looking at it for about a week. The Kamikaze Chris proved that he was the real deal when he made his first flawless pass, pulled off an incredible wheelie, and won handily. Chris likes to race, but he's never used the Elko has for anything like this. He enjoys pointing out to visitors that the car is essentially an ordinary garage-built automobile. Chris slept for several hours while constructing the vehicle. Being a low-budget racer, he spent almost every extra dollar he had, as well as some that he didn't, to improve this car to the top of the nation. Chris is a typical man who works entirely as the proprietor of his own heating and air conditioning company and likes to spend time with his loved ones at home. When everyone has gone to bed, Chris works on the car in the garage. He does all of the servicing himself, including washing the Lexan windows, checking the plugs, monitoring tire pressure, and making sure the braking system is operating correctly in an effort to maintain his beloved automobile competitive with the bigger rivals. Accepting his fame on TV, Kamikaze Chris moved on to work on other endeavors, such as founding Kamikaze Motorsports, an internet business that sold memorabilia and diecast El Camino reproductions. Since it was released on YouTube in 2020, his video Kamikaze Life, which offers a behind-the-scenes glimpse at his road trips, has gained more than 70,000 followers. The Kamikaze Chris continues to be involved in the local Oklahoma racing scene and participates in no-prep events throughout the nation despite losses and disappointments. His unwavering commitment and persistence will live on in the memories of Street Outlaws supporters.